So even with the snow falling in Iowa, the campaign trail is really heating up less than a week away from the Iowa caucuses.
Yeah, and with the Hawkeye State hosting the first Republican debate of the new year between Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, the candidates are making their case to Iowans as to why they should be the party's presidential nominee.
Yeah, Emily Finn is in Iowa with the latest from the campaign trail. Hey, Emily, good morning.
Hey, Marky, good morning to you. Well, it is a very chilly, snowy morning here in Des Moines. I got about 6 layers on right now, and I think we're going to have to layer up the rest of the week to stay warm because these temperatures are looking like they're going to stay frigid. It's actually forced some of the GOP presidential candidates to cancel some events here in Iowa due to the weather in this final stretch leading up to the Iowa caucuses. In fact, the National Weather Service says the Hawkeye State is under a winter storm warning, and we're expecting 6 to 12 inches of snow before tomorrow. We've already seen some flurries. The roads are pretty bad this morning already. Meteorologists are also predicting a polar vortex in the days leading up to the 15th. It will bring single-digit temperatures and even below zero temperatures as well, which could influence lower voter turnout than anticipated. Iowa Caucus goers say that both President Trump and Nikki Haley have already canceled events in Iowa because of the weather. At Haley's town hall event last night, one of her supporters didn't seem too worried about the winter storm, however, saying -0 temps is the same old song and dance for Iowans.
That's not even cold for Iowans. I think Iowa sees like -30 is cold, -40 is freezing, but I mean, it's supposed to be like -6, so not at all. I don't think that shouldn't dissuade anybody.
But when it comes down to it, former President Trump still commands a massive lead here in Iowa. For the rest of the week, one of the biggest things that we'll be watching for is if these winter conditions will deter voters, especially the elderly, from showing up to the caucuses. Experts say Trump has the most to lose from low turnout because if his momentum lulls and he doesn't win in a blowout here, that could pose trouble for his campaign in the next in the nation primaries in New Hampshire and South Carolina, where Nikki Haley has been picking up steam.
It's a big problem. It's a problem particularly for folks who live in outlying rural areas. You know, if you're in a town like Ames, which isn't exactly a big city, you might have to drive or trudge through some snow for a couple of blocks to get to your precinct location. Rural areas might have to go 10 miles or more to a neighboring town, and some people don't live in a town to begin with, so they're really isolated.
So this could be pretty historic here. I mean, extreme cold temperatures have not impacted the Iowa caucuses since 1972. And that year at the Des Moines airport, the temperatures reached -4 degrees. So we may be on track for record-breaking temperatures this time around. Nick and Marky?
And Emily, may I just say in the most professional, please don't call HR kind of way, how cute you look with those earmuffs and the snow falling behind you?
It's perfect.
You're going to make me blush, Nick.
This is true. Marky and I were like, doesn't she look so cute?
Yeah, yeah. You look great, Emily. Thanks.
Thank you so
you're
much,
warming
Emily.
me up. My cheeks are warm now.
Stay warm, Emily. Emily, thank you. Let's talk more about this with national political reporter for The Hill, Julia Manchester. Julia, not how cute Emily looked, but we actually want to talk about the Iowa caucuses itself. Julia, Governor DeSantis called it a lie that he'll drop out of the race after the Iowa caucuses, but he's invested so much there. So what type of showing does he need from Iowans?
Oh, Nick, he needs a knockout showing at this point. Look, for a while in Iowa and nationally, Governor DeSantis was polling in second place. But we've seen nationally in New Hampshire and in some polling in Iowa, Nikki Haley has sort of usurped him from that place. Now, he is still running in second place in Iowa. She's narrowly behind him. But, you know, Nikki Haley is, the least of his problems right now. Former President Trump holds such a commanding lead in Iowa, which is really a threat to Ron DeSantis's campaign. Now, in terms of whether he continues on after Iowa or not, it depends how he does in Iowa, obviously, and the financial state of his campaign. But for a campaign that puts so much into Iowa, so much investment on the ground, you have to wonder what that road looks like ahead for DeSantis if he doesn't perform well.
Julia, so many questions for you, but I also want to get in here before I let you go. You just wrote a new column on Nikki Haley's strategy as her polls show her closing in on DeSantis for second place. What's her plan for an upset in the Hawkeye State?
Well, so in the Hawkeye state, from what we've seen in the polls, Nikki Haley is not as strong in Iowa as she is in New Hampshire. And there's actually a new CNN poll out this morning showing her lead in New Hampshire, narrowing that to single digits with former President Trump. So I think there's a strategy of, performing relatively well in Iowa, but really having or hoping to have this knockout blow in New Hampshire and then going into her home state of South Carolina. Remember last week when Nikki Haley got a lot of flack for saying New Hampshire would correct Iowa's results? Well, we know that there was some pushback on that from some Iowa critics, from Ron DeSantis, for example. However, we have seen in the past that while Iowa winnows the field, New Hampshire does do a better job of predicting the primary.
And Julia, I have less than a minute. I have to ask you this, though. We just talked about how cold it is with Emily reporting right before you. Iowa is expecting frigid weather on caucus day. Former President Trump has suggested it either could help or hurt his results. How do you see it?
Look, it's unclear. I was actually chatting with Chris Steyerwalt yesterday on the Hill panel show about this, and Chris essentially said, it could go either way. We know that former President Trump has this commanding lead in Iowa, but remember, there's a lot of surprises in a caucus, and we have to remember a lot of Trump's support in Iowa and across the country is still soft, so it could really go either way.
And I don't see cold weather stopping those who really support the former president. Julia Manchester, thank you so much.
Thanks.